And we're back. This time, hat episode.
Yes, because we were showing each other our favorite hats. And so obviously Susie's is that one. I think everyone that knows you on Facebook has seen it.
Oh, yeah.
And my favorite is this one. And this one was made for me. Ooh, by Susie. Should we start over?
Nah, it's all good. Since we are talking about ghosts, I find it
That's weirdly apropos, yeah.
Yeah. Weird.
Yeah, because that actually should not have happened.
So I'm finding it kind of amusing right now.
Fuck it, let's go with it.
Cheers.
It's
so
oddly
today,
decorative.
yes, today we are talking about ghosts, and
We are.
ironically, perfect timing.
Mine said hello.
So ghost stories. Oh my gosh, where to begin with the ghost stories? There's so many.
What is the earliest feel of a ghost or sighting of a ghost that you remember? Was it the one that you told me about with the orbs in the house?
That was
we've already talked about that one. For those of you that haven't seen it,
you'll have to go look at the old episodes.
Yeah.
All
3 months old.
I know. I think the most memorable, there's like two most memorable ones for me. The one was up at my parents' house, because that place was just, it was a newer house, but it was like bizarrely haunted. So the house was built in like 75, and it just had some like weirdness going on there. And we would hear like footsteps in the hallway at night. We would hear like plastic grocery bags crinkling out in the living room. And there was a mimic. So, you know, we'd be like in the bathroom taking a shower or something, and we'd hear like knocking at the door, and then we'd hear a family member like calling through the door. Or, you know, I'd be in my room and I'd hear a knock at the door, and my room door would just kind of push open if somebody knocked on it. Like the latch never caught, and there was no lock on the doors except for the bathroom. So it would sound like a family member, and you'd be like, what? And nobody would follow up with that, you know. And one time I was in the bathroom, and I heard, it sounded like my sister and my brother sitting outside the bathroom door whispering to each other, like they were going to try and scare me when I came out. So I was just, I mean, we used to do shit like that to each other all the time. Like we play Ghosts in the Graveyard, and
no, but I like that, just the thought of it makes my
yeah. So I'm listening, and I'm hearing this, and so I'm like, well, you know, hell with that, I'm gonna scare the crap out of them. So I like real quietly like walk up to the door, and really quick, just in one swoop,
open it real fast.
Yeah, open it up really fast, and there's nobody. Like nobody. Nowhere. And it's not like it was like this little alcove that it's not easy to get out of that fast. Like, you know, they wouldn't have heard me coming up to the door because the floor didn't creak or anything. And there was just no way they could have gotten anywhere. And so I like looked in the other rooms and stuff, and they were nowhere to be found. They were like sitting out on the couch watching TV. I was like, were you guys just outside the door? No. And then, you know, fast forward to when my husband and I were up there the one time, we ended up getting to stay in, like, at one point we moved bedrooms around because my sister and brother were getting too old to share a room, and the partial wall that my dad had built was no longer cutting it. So my brother took my old room, and I moved in with my sister, and, you know, I was going to college anyway, so it's not like I was going to spend all the time there anyway. So the wall came down, and I was there. And then when I moved out, my mom took over that bedroom. So my mom would sleep in like the one bed because she had trouble going up and down the stairs, and my sister would sleep in the other bed. And then when I was there with my husband, we were both sleeping in the double bed. And my mom was like, oh, you know, I'll just leave the door cracked open a little bit. so you get some air coming through. And I was like, okay, not even thinking about it because it'd been so long since I lived in the house. And about halfway through the night, what woke me up was the sound of crinkling plastic shopping bags out in the living room. And it's a weird noise. Like, if you've never heard it, go get one of those plastic shopping bags and just mush it in between your
That's
hands.
a weird sound to hear in the middle of the night.
It is, especially in the middle of the night. But I mean, my dad's a night owl, so I'm like, okay, maybe dad's up and, he decided he needs to start going on a cleaning spree or something. But I looked and I saw that all the lights were off in the living room. And I was like, okay, that's weird. And so I ended up, I was just kind of sitting there and I was like, okay, really weird that there's lights off, but my dad has done stranger things. And, we have pretty good night vision. So
yeah. But really, why are dads like that? Like,
I don't know.
It's like they hit a certain age of dadhood and they all turn into that.
Yeah, like, my mom's thing was the thermostat. Nobody touched the thermostat, and she had it set at like 65. And it was so cold. But that was one thing that I noticed was how cold it was. And then I heard the crinkling bags, and I was like, and then I heard footsteps. Like, all of a sudden it stopped, as if, like, whoever was like crinkling around in the bags all of a sudden just like stopped and looked up really quick, like they realized I woke up, and they came stomping down the hallway right outside the door. And I was just like, oh my God. And so really quick, I did the most mature thing I've ever done in my life. I turned over and pulled the covers up over my head and pretended I was still asleep.
Because it's a proven truth by every 6-year-old child that ever lived that if you put your covers over your head, you're safe.
Exactly. So I'm sitting like this, pretending I'm asleep, and I hear the footsteps stop outside the door, and then I hear the footsteps come into the room, and they come across the room because it was like a tile floor. They come across, and I felt this really cold, weird tingling, like traveling all over me, like somebody was doing like this over me, and I was just like, and I'm just like pretending like I'm still asleep. And meanwhile, like, my husband's sleeping next to me. He starts like kind of tossing and turning, like something's waking him up too. And then finally it went away, and I was just like, I was like, well, that was terrifying. So that was one of the more memorable ones. And and then of course I've had encounters in Gettysburg, because Gettysburg, I would be shocked if people don't have encounters of some sort in Gettysburg.
Yeah.
But the one that sticks out the most was the one at Little Round Top, which, dude, honestly, he looked like a teenager. Looked like, he was really young. And then, dressed in a uniform of some sort that looked kind of officery, but not infantry. And, it turns out it was an artillery officer's uniform. I didn't find this out until 20 years later, because I was 16 when I met this guy, and I thought he was a reenactor because I'd never seen reenactors before. Living in the Poconos, there's not a lot of reenactors. The Battle of the Poconos. So, yeah, I had never really seen reenactors outside of like Valley Forge, and I was just like, oh, they are costumed, actors that are playing these parts. And in Gettysburg, this is like a lifestyle. So the night before, I was 16, it was a school trip. The night before, and this was when they were still allowed to camp like on the streets and stuff. And so they're sitting there like around these campfires, and they're sitting super, super still. And I thought they were mannequins. And I'm like, wow, these are really amazing looking mannequins. And all of a sudden, I go walking through the camp, and all of a sudden they're like blinking and looking at me like, what are you doing? I was like, what are you doing? And they were drunk. But so, that was my first meeting of the reenactors. And so when I saw this guy on Little Round Top, I just assumed he was another reenactor playing his part. And then when my friends came up behind me and they were like, who are you talking to? We heard you talking to someone. And they had heard another voice. And I turned around to go introduce them to Mr. 1863, and he's just gone. Like he was never even there. And when I was talking to him, he was as solid as you or me.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah. Those are my two most memorable.
Okay. Let's see, from growing up. We lived, to set the scene for you, in this house in Utah. And it was built in probably the 50s, but it had been updated, I guess. Like they had done, like, do you remember the carpet that was like shag kind of, but it was like the long yarn? Okay, so it had this god awful gold. So it was like
Harvest Gold.
baby diarrhea yellow.
That is called Harvest Gold.
It's baby shit yellow.
Yeah, it's pretty bad.
But my mom would like obsessively vacuum it so that all of the yarn was standing up and there were no lines, right?
Well, you have to, because otherwise it starts getting matted.
Yeah, but every day?
Yeah.
No.
Like you miss a couple of days and it just becomes one giant lump of felt.
Okay, well, would you like me to tell the story,
Go
or
ahead.
you want to tell me about the yarn?
I can talk about yarn for days, you know this.
Okay, so she used to do it before we go to bed. And so it would all be like beautiful, like standing straight up at attention, no lines, or if there were lines, they were all in a perfectly geometric friggin', it was like she measured the straight, I mean, it was just perfect. It was glorious to behold.
It would have
Okay.
footprints in it in 5 minutes if I was there.
Well, here's the thing. There was no reason for us to walk through the living room at night because the bathroom, the way the house was set up, the bathroom was here, and then my door was here, and my sister's door was here. My parents had a bathroom in their room, but still, you had to like go out into the hallway to go into the living room. So, there were times in the morning, no one would get up, and my sister and I would catch hell for the footprints in the carpet. Yeah. And we would tell our mom, like, we didn't do it. So one night I decided I was going to stay up. I was going to find out who was putting the footprints in the carpet. Like, was it my dad? Like, was he just like going out to get a snack? And he's not going to own up to it because it's his fucking carpet. He pays the bills, like, whatever. She's not going to yell at him about it, right? But so was it him? Was it my little sister? And she's not telling the truth. Like, she's going to get snacks. So stayed up and everybody went to sleep. And I tend to sleep with my door closed. It's just a comfort thing I have forever. So I open up my door very quietly and I just sit in my doorway because I could see into the living room from my door. And I'm not even kidding. The shower curtain, we kept it closed so that it could drain and not get gross. At about 2:30 in the morning, the shower curtain opens. There's nobody in the bathroom. Shower curtain opens, and I felt like cold coming through the hallway. You didn't hear anything because carpet, but you could see footsteps going from the hallway into the living room, into the kitchen. And I was like, and I was too scared to move. I couldn't move. I didn't want anything to notice me. But it wasn't like like it was a scary feeling because, oh my God,
Yeah.
but it wasn't scary, like menacing, right? And then the footprints walked back and they went to my parents' room. And I was like, oh my God, it's in there with my mom and dad. And I was like, well, my mom's an adult. She can handle it. I was like 14. Like, my mom's got this, like, whatever. And then I finally like came back to myself enough to get in my bed and do the covers and actually add a pillow for extra safety. But I never felt any menace from it. However, my little sister, she used to like be in the shower, and she would think it was me, and she would get really pissed because the shower curtain would like fingers would poke at her from the shower curtain, like I was in there, because I did tend to do that as the elder sister, go in and like
Yeah.
poke at her, because you know the water on the shower curtain gets cold and you're in the hot shower, and it's like, so yeah, it was fun.
Well, it's
So
also like gross when you do that and the shower curtain like sticks to you and you're like,
yeah,
"Ah."
which makes it more fun. It's cold and gross. But she would feel something poking at her, or like trying to open, like it would open the shower curtain a little bit and she'd close it and open it a little bit. Yeah, it was wild because she would feel like scared. And I don't know if it was because it felt menacing, or with like me, it was like, what is going on?
Yeah,
You
that
know, because if I'm 14, she's 10.
yeah,
Wait, no. Yeah, 10 or 11. Yeah.
yeah.
So
My siblings had a thing up at my parents' house that they would play manhunt with. And at
nice.
first they thought like it was the mimic again, where they thought it was me, or they thought it was each other. Like they play with the neighbor kids, and they thought it was, the neighborhood kids thought it was them. They thought it was the neighbor kids, and they're chasing this thing through the woods, and then they like got up next to it, and all of a sudden they're like, feels a little weird, and all of a sudden they realize this thing's got no face.
That's fairies. That's not ghosts. That's the fae.
It's crazy. So I
Killing
saw this
children.
thing. I would see this thing like every day walking
Mm-hmm.
around, and I was like, oh, okay, it's some dude like walking up the hill, and I would see like this white dress shirt and black pants, and he had dark hair, but I never saw his face, and it was like from a distance. So my eyesight's crap anyway, so I was like, whatever.
Mm-hmm.
But as teenage me, I'm excited because I think, oh my god, there's somebody that looks about my age that just moved into the area.
Yeah. New boy.
New boy in the area that I could talk to, and he looks like he's
Yeah.
not a jock. So,
Yeah.
yeah. So never actually met this person face to face, or person, I guess, because it wasn't. It would always disappear.
That's a fairy. Did you tell it your name?
No, I didn't even get to talk to it.
Oh.
Besides, I'm pretty
Did
sure
your brother and sister?
No, they just played. It would play manhunt with them and just run through. And when we played Ghost in the Graveyard, that was a hoot because I always got nominated to be the ghost because I was the best at hiding. And so I would hide and I would just scare the crap out of all of them. And there was one time where I was like hiding around the side of the house and I heard them around this way. And all of a sudden they're like, I see the ghost. And they come like tearing ass around the corner of the house. And I'm standing there like, I'm over here. It was like, what spooked him? So I'm just sitting there like in the shadows waiting. And I've just got my head down. So it's like, all dark. I got my hair in my face. So it's all dark and I'm wearing all black. And as they're running past me, I wait for the oldest of the neighbor kids to come running past, and I just reach out and grab him on the shoulder. I'm like, you're it. And he was like, ah! I have never heard such a high-pitched shriek. But yeah, they were like, oh my god, we thought you were over there. How did you get over here? And I'm like, so they honestly, at one point, they believed I was supernatural. Because they just assumed somehow I had managed to like walk through the entire house and like open up a portal and just appear out of nowhere. Meanwhile, I'm just standing in the shadows like they're gonna
watching them. Yeah. Nice.
How they didn't see me, I don't know, because I was literally just standing right there like
Mm-hmm.
So that was funny. But yeah, I mean, so many weird ghosts up there and weird stuff up there. Really weird stuff.
Yeah, I like the weird stuff. You know what would be cool is if people would share their weird stories with us.
I would love to hear some ghost stories because
That would be awesome.
every day is a good day for a ghost story.
Every day, anytime is a good time.
Absolutely.
Like share it in the comments and tell us about it. And yeah, that would be awesome.
Indeed.
Or if you want to send it to us, we'll tell it out loud.
Talk about it.
That's cool.
Yeah, we'll read your ghost story.
Yeah.
Live.
Susie will. She's really good at that.
Nah, my I need to load those Sarah files into the Patreon.
Okay, I'll do it.
No, I have to edit them first. I'm like, oh god. Yeah, I need to edit those a lot. Um, but yeah, ghost stories. If you've got them, tell them
Yeah,
because they're
that
fun.
would be excellent. We'd love to hear them.
And we should do another like Facebook Live. I think
We
where we
should.
actually create the room and get people in there. Like if people want
Yeah.
to come in, we just grab them and pull them in like some sort of weird vortex. It could be
I
fun.
like grabbing people and pulling them in like a vortex. I'm all about it. Let's do it. Mine. Yeah, we should do definitely like Facebook Lives on, I don't know, like Wednesdays or whatever.
We should.
Yeah, we should.
Here, hold on.
Is that a portent of things to come? I don't have glasses to look over anymore.
Yeah, my glasses are staying firmly in place because I put my contacts in when I was doing the Scares That Care toy drive guest spot. And I put my contacts in and I could not see. Like
Really?
my eyes just felt like, because they're so used to adjusting for my glasses sliding down, and they're definitely different focal points on the glasses because they're bifocals, but so are my contacts. But to get the contacts to have the bifocal edge on the bottom, you got to blink a couple of times, and my eyes.
Yeah, because they're weighted and then it adjusts.
Yes, I have to like drip the saline solution in my eyes to get my eyes re-wetted, and then be like blink, 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 and then I have to put my makeup on. And by the time I get all of that done, I'm like, ow, I've got makeup in my eye.
See, I'm much more comfortable with my contacts than with glasses, and I see better.
Yeah,
So
I feel like I see better with my glasses because I'm used to the focal length, and my eyes get really tired if I wear my contacts.
yeah, see, I've worn my contacts. I wore them for years, like through high school. Thanks, America's Best, um, for allowing us to afford them. But yeah, and then while I was in the military, I wore them. Especially while I was in the military, I
Yeah.
wore them. So yeah, maybe my eyes are used to them because it's been 30 years I've been wearing them at least.
I stopped wearing mine
My
when I got
God.
pregnant because I think my eyes changed shape. And so now it's like,
You just go to a doctor and get a new prescription and they adjust for the shape of your eyes, right?
oh yeah, I did.
Okay, I was
Yeah,
like,
I've been to an eye doctor.
why are you weird?
No, I just they did the whole eye scan and everything, and showed
Mhm.
me the stuff on the computer, and seemed very happy that I was interested in it. I was like, no, I have questions. So,
Yeah.
but yeah, I think it's just easier because I like to rub my eyes too, which I can't do when I have contacts in. Like I like to just gouge them out pretty much when I'm itching them. Yeah, I have itchy eyes. Lots
I
of.
get that on occasion, yeah.
So yeah, when I get my itchy eyes going on, it's
But
hard.
well, you know how I have the fidgeting thing as one of my like symptoms of stuff. So with the glasses, I'm constantly, and it's distracting to me, it's distracting to anyone that's talking to me, it's distracting to anyone in a room with me. It's just not good, so
I usually just do. Mm-hmm.
yeah, but it's a fidget thing for me to
Yeah.
where like I'm just playing with them
Oh
like I
yeah.
am with,
I have
like
to.
I'm doing with the ends of my hair right now, like
Nice.
neurodivergency is fun.
It is. It is.
It
Usually,
is.
I just my fidget is thinking about quantum theory while I'm talking. My brain is fidgeting.
Okay, so wait, hold on. Speaking of that, do you have an inner monologue?
Oh, absolutely. Complete with
Is
a
it like
soundtrack.
is it like constant?
Yeah.
Okay. Because apparently there are people that don't.
Is that like people that don't picture the story happening while they're reading?
Doesn't everyone picture the story happening when
No.
they're reading?
No, there are people that do not envision the story that they're reading.
How do they enjoy the book?
I don't know if they do. Yeah, it was really strange. I don't know if there's a way to fix that either, because I'm just like, man,
I
that's
wonder if
makes
that's
me
like,
sad.
yeah, I that's awful for them.
Yeah.
But I wonder if that's like a symptom of like it's a creativity trait, because the
Could be.
more people I've asked that question about the inner monologue, right?
Hmm.
The creatives have it. Like anybody that likes to draw or sing or paint or write or any kind of creativity that they have, whether it's gardening, they have it.
Hmm.
But the people that don't really have that,
I mean, it's also like talking to yourself too. Like your inner monologue comes out at that point where you're like, when I'm gardening, I'll sit there talking to the plants and talking to myself and, like, oh,
yeah,
this worked, this didn't work. How are you feeling about that?
yeah. Well, and I talk to the plants and I'm like, how you doing? Oh my God, you're growing so pretty. Ooh, that leaf looks like it is not feeling so good. Let me take that off. Like that's just, I picked that up from my mother, I think. But
But yeah, I'm also
yeah,
talking to myself while I'm doing that too. Like, okay, you got to
yeah.
remember to get fertilizer, or you got to remember like to fill in these beds
Do
again because
you,
they're
when you're
settled.
saying you got to remember to get something right and you're making a mental checklist, do you actually see a piece of paper and like a list? Because I do.
Get out of my head.
The look on your face, like, oh my God.
Get
Okay,
out
good.
of my head.
And it's like a fancy piece of paper. It's like the I'm a bill sitting on Capitol Hill paper.
No,
Like,
it's not a scroll. It's
yeah,
just
no, mine's like a fancy piece of parchment. Like,
no, mine's more like a chalkboard. Like there's a
huh.
chalkboard and then there's just like words in chalk. So
No, mine's an
great.
actual like list on paper, and I can see the pen writing down what I need. And
Mine are just they kind of
now
appear.
that I'm saying it, it just seems really weird. Like,
My words just appear in chalk on a chalkboard in my head.
no, mine get written out for me by a scribe.
You got your mind scribe.
Got my mind scribe. Yeah, but I mean, like, I see, like, that's why I'm thinking it's like a creativity thing, because also I'm very visual, right? And so I will see something that I want to make before I make it. And then I never show anybody what I'm making because it never lives up to the standard that's in my head.
Yeah.
And I
Oh,
never think it's good. Like, I have painting upon painting upon painting finished in my living room that I've just not shown people because they're not up to the quality that I want them to be.
I have paintings like that in my closet upstairs in the art studio that will
Mhm.
never see the light of day because
Mhm.
I
Well,
just
and then people see them and they're like, "Oh, I'd buy that."
I don't sell them.
No, it's not. Yeah, it's
I
like when you get like I bought these yellow fluorite obelisks that I'm gonna list next week, and one of them has like scuff marks on the corner. I'm not gonna sell that because it's not right.
I
You
mean
know what I mean? Like,
just discount it and put it in the listing like, hey, it's got scuff marks, so it's cheaper. Like just make a not perfect section, not
well,
up to my
see,
standards section.
well, it's not that they're not up to my standards, it's just that I don't feel comfortable giving someone damaged goods. So the not perfect ones are actually in my collection because I like the misfits. You know what I mean? Like,
Your
I
island
like the
fit
scuffed ones with,
rocks.
yeah, it is. It's the altar of misfit stuff.
We're all misfits.
True. Everybody in some way or another, which is cool.
But so
Yeah,
next
where were we
time,
going with this?
I don't remember where we were going with this, but I
This
think
is where we are.
this is where we are as always.
Hmm.
But I think next episode we can talk more ghosts.
Yeah, we talked about fairies too, because I think
Uh,
that falls in, and
indeed,
some other stuff. There's other things I want to talk about.
indeed. Let's do that. So
Yeah.
tune in, smash the like button a lot.
Well, don't smash it. Just
Smash it.
gently stroke it.
Make love to the like button.
Make love to the like button. Yeah. Ew. God, that's awful out
Yeah,
of context.
it's already
Um, yeah, just, like us if you like us.
yeah, maybe just buy the like button dinner and
Yeah,
number.
take it on a date.
Yeah, take it on a date, romance it a little.
Yeah,
Bring it on a picnic.
yeah. There you go. Take it
Bring
to
it
the
on a
park.
candlelit picnic.
Take it to the park.
Yeah. Then marry the subscribe button.
Yeah, yeah. Notifications, you can have your way with her.
That bell icon.
Yep. Belle likes it. Hey, yeah, that's awkward.
Going down a path, man.
Yeah.
We're deep in
Figure
the woods.
if we're gonna do it, I'm gonna burn it down, baby.
That's a story for another time that deals
Yeah.
with the refrigerator being brought out the door.
Yep.
So we'll see you next time when I get to tell you about how the refrigerator got out the door in a flurry of profanity.
And also ghosts.
And also ghosts, and also fairies, and
Yeah, maybe demons.
maybe demons. We'll see.
Yeah.
If you're good.
Yeah. Be good. Eat your vegetables. Drink water. Okay,
Yeah.
love you. Bye.
Stay hydrated.